Hi, welcome to our first episode here of Insights. Great way to start the new year off in 2024. Perhaps you're like me and you kind of look at the world and scratch your head and wonder why some people do the things they do and you don't, and makes you kind of wonder, is there something wrong with me? Why are they wired that way, or what makes them tick? Years ago, I started looking into the study of the different personalities and found it fascinating. And it has really helped me with my teaching career and with parenting. And some people have said it's really helped them in sales and marketing. No matter what you do, just getting a better appreciation for how each of us is designed is an interesting study, and hopefully will help you with your people relationships. Basically, 400 years before Christ was born, Hippocrates already divided people into 4 separate categories. The first one being sanguine, not in any special order here. The second one being choleric or choleric, can be pronounced both ways. Third being melancholy, and the fourth phlegmatic. Each one of those personalities has certain traits that are recognizable once you start looking into the traits that exist within each individual from birth, actually. You can even tell when they're little babies, get a pretty good feel for which personality traits are going to fit them into those different categories. Like snowflakes, none of us are identical to anyone else, and we are a blend of the different personalities. Some people, though, are very strong with one of the traits, you might say, over the top or over the edge. And all of these personalities have strengths, and they also have weaknesses. When you're operating within your strengths, it's wonderful. But when each of us is operating within our weaknesses, it's not so good, and it's things that we need to work on. We need to be a blend. And the purpose of this webcast is not to have you have to change anyone or try and make them over. You really can't change people, places, or things. But it is my hope that you will understand your co-workers, your family members, people that you're teaching, maybe counseling, in whatever area of life, and everyone could get along a little bit better. So let's take a look at sanguines to begin with. Sanguines are the type of people that you want to invite to a party. If you don't want your party to be dull, make sure you have at least 1 or 2. You don't want an overabundance of sanguines, or the party would become a contest between which one's going to outdo the other one. Sanguines love to have fun. If you were going to make a t-shirt for them, they'd probably like it to say party, hardy, or party, 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 party on, something like that. They're cheerful, they're bubbly, they're curious, and the one word that they don't really like is work. So if you like them to get something done, or you have a task that they need to complete, try to leave that word out and try and make it fun at all costs if you can. They're very outgoing. They don't know any strangers. They're the type of person who gets on the elevator and will either make eye contact with the other occupants, or they might have a greeting. That's just how they're wired. Cholerics or cholerics love to work. From the time that they're toddlers, you will see them trying to get something accomplished, something done. They're born leaders. They're driven. They like to, if you were going to make a t-shirt for them, they'd probably really like it if it said something like this: let's do this. Let's get this done. Get rolling. They love to delegate tasks. They are your goal-oriented people. And a true choleric delights in tasks and jobs When they get through with one, they just can't wait till you can hand them another one, and they will take and set goals for themselves. You really don't have to set goals for them because inwardly, that's how they're wired. However, if you're trying to get a person who has most of this in their temperament, they will work for rewards. They will be the kind of student who would like to get stars or stickers or be the first to complete something. So you can use that to your advantage. Let's look at the third personality type, that being a melancholy. All of these temperament types, there's not a good one or a bad one. We're not trying to point the finger at anyone. God has made each of us unique individuals, and there are tests that you can take, which we'll get to down the road, which will help you determine your basic personality type. And if you want to look into that, you can look into any books that were written by Florence Littauer. She has many that are sold on Amazon, and so I would recommend that. But let's go back to the melancholy personality. The melancholy person is very analytical. They're your deep thinkers. They're usually very artistic in one way or another. They might be artists, they might be musically inclined. They want something done similar to the Cholerics, but they only want to do it if they can do it perfectly. They tend to be a little bit more emotional, and that's just because they have that inner signal telling them that it has to be perfect. If you were going to make a shirt and design it just for the melancholy, you probably want to put a caption similar to this: get it done right or don't do it at all. And the last personality type that we'll look at today is the Phlegmatics. Phlegmatics are very easygoing, they're peaceful, they want peace at any cost. They like to study people. They are the kind of individuals who would sit and watch, and they like to analyze, similar to the melancholy, but in a different way. They kind of have a dry sense of humor. There's a wit that will come out. They're the kind who would be calm, cool, and collected. So if you were going to make a shirt, you might want to design it with a caption like that for any phlegmatics that you might know. This was just a brief introductory segment for you today. So I thought I'd end it with, I always like to give examples from my personal life. When our children were little, we had 2 sons, and one day I remember very clearly, I had already kind of figured out which personalities they leaned towards. But we were at a fast food restaurant, and when we got back to the table, my one son opened up his sack and then the wrapper inside and said, "This isn't what I ordered." And then he very carefully wrapped it back up, put it back in the bag, and I watched him go back up to the line. He was very polite about it, but he just said, "Please make my order right." The second one, my other son, when he opened his up, he looked at me and says, "Well, this isn't what I ordered either." Then he took a minute and he said, "But you know what? Maybe I'll like pickles." So he proceeded to eat the sandwich just the way it was. Hopefully, just from my first little talk here, you might be getting an idea which category those 2 would fall into. We'll repeat that or come back to it with our next segment. Have a great day.